Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Silent Hill Origins. We're still in the sanitarium. We have to do... we have to do one more thing, and then we can visit the Otherworld Cedar Grove Sanitarium for the first time. But we have to retrieve a key from the female hydrotherapy wing. Oh, no, it's the one behind me with the steam coming off it. This hydrotherapy bath must be broken because the water is boiling. And I can't stick my hand in because I would get scalded. But there's this big, nice, shiny button. Let's press that. That is absurd. For that, of all things, to get a cutscene is ridiculous. Anyway, we flushed the key, so now we have to do a whole lot of running around to get back to it, including taking a trip into the other world. Let me backtrack to hydrotherapy, which was a treatment that was really big in 20th century psychiatric facilities. And if we know one thing about the early 20th century, it's that it was not known for particularly compassionate or effective mental health treatments. And hydrotherapy was basically just various unpleasant uses for baths of water or sprays. Talking about scalding hot baths, freezing baths, being sprayed down with fire hoses. It's hydrotherapy. And many of these treatments would last for days and days on end. So imagine being belted into a harness and forced to sit in near freezing water for days. That's something that makes Cedar Grove particularly effective. Even though it's actually, if you just look at it on paper, it's a boring level. You know, just going by the gameplay loops.
Ah! I've always hated you! You and your devil son!
Oh God, Helen! My dear Helen! You really are dead! What will I do?
Forgot that was here. We'll learn what that was all about at the end of the sanitarium. We still have a decent chunk of it left. Anyway, what I think makes this level actually pretty scary is that specter that looms over it. It makes it atmospheric and really, really unsettling. And not because, ooh, mentally ill people are scary. You know, that trope that so many depictions of mental health and mental health facilities in media can fall into. But the facility itself and the treatments that we used to deem acceptable at the turn of the 20th century, they were fucking harrowing. And that specter kind of haunts and informs this level design. I think this is the last door that Yep. It's the last door I could have chosen. It's the one I actually needed to hit. And then there's always the staple elements that make Silent Hill levels so effective. On top of that, layered on that real-world specter. So for this room, we need to switch back once again. There's actually quite a bit of switching that goes on in a sanitarium. And where there used to be barbed wire blocking a stall off, there's now just a puddle of blood and a metal ringing sound in the pipe. We did not James Sunderland it. Instead, we flushed the key further down. And we have a message. Bring me my son. Sounds related to Helen, the patient from the flashback just now, and whom we have heard a little bit about, I think, in the previous memos. Helen, of course, is a character we'll learn plenty about. She's actually pretty important. I think this door acts as a shortcut now that we've come here in this state. And we've got a note. 9:30 a.m. administered medication to the exclusion patients. There were no incidents. 11:46 accompanied Dr. Harris bonkers. On his morning rounds, no incidents of note. 3 p.m. visit for Mrs. Blank from her husband. Took her into the empty dorm room so she would feel more comfortable. 3:46 p.m. Mrs. Blank has attacked her husband. During the visit, she had a violent episode and attempted to throttle Mr. Blank. She was heard screaming by myself and the attending orderly, and we managed to restrain her. Though it took 3 of us, despite her being a female of slight build. After we sedated her and took her back to her room, Dr. Harris examined her and decided to reinstate her dose of epinephrine. 5:12 p.m. After the incident with Mrs. Blank, the other patients have become agitated and restless. Harris has ordered a lockdown. The other thread running through here is the epinephrine, which we're going to come to another note that, I don't know, there's something morbidly funny about it. I swear, yep. Ah, finally, another key. Patient belongings key. Patient belongings, I think, is upstairs. It was one of those northern rooms in that diamond-shaped hallway. This is what I mean. The gameplay loop of this section is a lot of just back and forth with not too much of consequence actually going on, but they still managed to make this really disconcerting in a number of ways. And it's that combination of, this nebulous idea of atmosphere, the enemies they introduce in this section, the noises, the environmental sounds, the environmental storytelling, Yamaoka's soundtrack, but then also this real-world element that enters into your subconscious here. Ah, shit. Trying to just go counterclockwise around the room and open up anything adjacent to where we need to go. Just seeing if there are any side rooms worth checking out. We kind of need this. I don't like that shuffling. The remnants aren't too bad, but it's very easy for them to sneak up on you in your periphery because of the way light interacts with them. There's no way there's nothing in here. I swear there's something. Is it really an empty storage room? Unless I hit that up earlier. I don't know. Oh no, I think I did. Right, we have to go through the solarium. Oh, shit. Then we'll go left, come out the other side into the diamond hall. I'm really tense right now because I'm pretty sure this is the hallway that had the carrion in it. And what do you know? Another note. Oh, that closed right away. Shoddy ammo. We've gotten that before. Still no shotgun. It doesn't matter. We have a typewriter. That is all of the armament we need. Let's check that note, though. I don't like leaving notes unread. I don't know which one it is. I think it's the status report here. Status report, February 7th, 61, Mrs. Blank Blank, age 35, notes Mrs. Blank's condition has degraded dramatically in the last few months. Her fantasies of a mirror world have become more acute, and she spends more and more time in an apparent catatonic state. She claims that during this time, she's in the other world. She now has full recollection of her attacks on her son, but shows no remorse for the incident. Indeed, she seems proud, almost smug of her attempted filicide. I'm worried that this behavior could be a side effect of the increased doses of eponymus that the patient has been prescribed. I have asked for her dose to be halved and hope to see positive results shortly. Alright, now I'm fairly certain that there's more to this room. And sure enough, it is much bigger than it looks. Where is the passage to the other side of the room? While I'm looking around for that, this is hearsay based on the word of a Homecoming artist, Silent Hill Homecoming. That is Kenzie Lamar. By their account, Konami wasn't happy with Silent Hill 4 back in the day and disbanded Team Silent themselves. Silent Hill 4 was supposed to represent this brand new direction for the series, and it already had fewer members of the team from 1 through 3, and after Silent Hill 4 came out is when Konami allegedly dissolved Team Silent and gave Silent Hill to Climax Los Angeles to follow their mandate of changing things up. And change things up, they almost did in a really drastic way. You can go back and find footage from the alpha and beta of when Silent Hill Original Sin was an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter in the style of Resident Evil 4. I think that switched the icons for the shotgun and the target pistol. Seems like a minor bug. But for now, that's where I'm going to leave that thought. We will pick that back up as we go on, but know that Origins had an incredibly troubled development cycle. Also, I really like this floor in the other world. The way the doors are cut off by a chasm, almost like the walkways are railroad tracks. We have a poker here. And I think maybe another note even. Nope, that's a med kit. And you're starting to see why they let you switch freely between the other world and the fog world with mirrors. Mirrors are actually an incredibly important recurring motif in this game, as evidenced by the memos that we're seeing. Oh, I never tried the doctor's office. Jesus Christ. This is a better look at the carrions than we've gotten so far. It almost sounds like there's two of them. I hope there's not. before I try the East Solarium to get back to the east side. No, this is all cut off. Shit. Shit. Oh! God. Good lord. I'm gonna go through here and use a first aid kit. Carrying are bad enough in a place like that. They're bad enough in the open. We're gonna come across some later in the level that are in tight hallways, and they suck. I don't think we want to go downstairs yet. We're going to eventually, but... maybe I'm wrong. At least want to hit up those two storage rooms and the laundry room. Pretty sure there's one more thing that we have to do. Nope, but the laundry room is definitely open. This room makes the most unpleasant echoing noises. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Another memo. Attending officer's report. When I arrived at the Blank house, the ambulance was already at the scene. The neighbor, Mr. Bryant, who first called in the incident, had restrained Mrs. Blank, and the paramedics were tending to the child. The husband, Mr. Blank, had not yet arrived back from his workplace. Thanks to Bryant's intervention, the gas had been turned off and the house ventilated. However, there was still a strong smell, and I deemed it necessary to call the fire department as a precaution. It appeared that Mrs. Blank had attempted to gas herself and her child. When I spoke to the suspect, Mrs. Blank, she was uncooperative and seemed enraged. She demanded I release her so she could, quote, kill the devil child. She was clearly not in control of her mind. Mr. Bryant commented that several times in the previous weeks, he had heard loud arguments and screams from the house. He said Helen has not been well for a while. Helen again. So now we can try this door over here on Travis's left. But I'm pretty sure that's locked, and the next step is to go downstairs. Ah, the lock's broken. So yep, next up we're going down. There we go. We take this off-putting Dutch angle as we come back into the stairwell. I believe storage over here on the left has another mirror for us. And there should also be an ampoule in here. No? I swear to God there used to be an ampoule in here. Do they randomize some of the supplies? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe. That's frustrating. Either way, we don't want to hit the mirror and switch over just yet. Instead, we want to go, let's see, all the way to Yeah, all the way to the end of the hall that we're facing, to the pipe room. We're still on a mission to get this key that we flushed down the drain twice. And geographically, this lines up with where we would have flushed the key. So maybe we can finally pick that thing up. Oh boy. More nasty squishing noises. And I am... How did I get this turned around? Seems like a difficult thing to have done. There we are. We good. We good. Now we can go back to that storage room with the mirror. We're gonna want to switch back now. And also, since we're going to the archives, we have to make a long trek back up. So we're gonna switch here and then end things off, and we will pick up at the archives just to save us some mindless running. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Still no ample? Still no ample. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.